Hey everyone, this is Heather, and this is going to be a weekly review on different cryptocurrencies. So this is going to be a series where every weekend we are going to talk about the 10 most widely used cryptocurrencies in the market, and we are going to go over the price action, and we are going to see where we are standing, what are some of the setups for the next week, where are some of the entries and exits, and what's the overall outlook of the market. So I'm hoping this is going to grow, and this is going to really help the crypto community, especially the people who are coming into the crypto market. Since we have had a rally in the last few months, there are so many new investors and traders coming into the crypto market. So I'm hoping this is going to cater to those people and become a really useful series. So let's start. This is the first episode. So since Bitcoin is again since Bitcoin is something that almost everyone knows about, let's start with Bitcoin. So we have the BTC chart open. This is Tradix, and let's just look at a few things. So we are going to dive into the daily chart and some intraday charts as well to see what's going on. So let's see. So Bitcoin, again, we can see that we are almost on at all-time highs. We have a resistance level here. So let's see. We have a resistance level here. So this was the all-time highs, and then we have one resistance level here, right? And then if we anchor the VWAP from here, VWAP is the volume weighted average price. Just a note here, if you're not familiar with any of these terms that I'm using, please go and watch our series on Introduction to Trading, where we discuss some technical analysis, where we have some technical analysis videos, so you'll know what these anchored VWAPs mean. You'll know about moving averages, support and resistance lines. So if you go to our YouTube channel, you'll find a series on Introduction to Trading. Please watch that. I'll also link that series in the description of this channel. Alright, so we have the anchored VWAP from here. We can see that this was a support. This was a support. This was a support. Nice. The anchored VWAP has been acting as a support quite nicely. So we can see that we have some supports below, and the price right now is above both the 20 and 50 moving averages. So this is the 20, this is the 50, this is the 20, this is the 50 moving average. And so let's zoom in. So right now, as we can see, we are right on a resistance level, and then we have one resistance on top. So if you want to trade Bitcoin, then what you want to do is you want to enter at the breakout of this resistance line. So when we break out of here at this level, about 58,394 level, if there is any volume, if you look at the volume, there is no volume right now. So what you want to do is you want to wait until there is enough volume on a candle, on a daily candle, before you go in. So that would be one setup. So let's just mark it on the chart. This seems like one setup where you enter. The next setup that would be probably really good is if we go up, and let's say we go from 58 to about 60k, and then we break out of here. So we can see that we went up, but we could not break out. We could not break out of this level, and now it has become a resistance level. So we have this level. Hopefully we break this, but this is not really a good entry, because then we have a resistance level here as well. We want to enter on breakouts, or we want to enter on levels where the next level is actually quite far. So here we can see that we have a level right after it. So this does not seem like a good entry, but still it might be a decent entry, because we'll probably go from here to here, and then you can exit. If you enter here, let's say on the breakout, then your exit is going to be somewhere around here. At least do a partial exit at this line. But if we actually break out of there, you can get in again, or you can at least do a partial exit at this line and then continue having some shares or some coins I should say, after the breakout here. What are some of the concerns here? Let's see. So right now I don't have any concerns, because we have been respecting this anchored VWAP. So as long as we are above this anchored VWAP, this is around 50k actually, we should be fine. So as you might have seen, 49, 48, 50k has acted as a really good support level in the last few weeks. So that's it for Bitcoin. Let's see what we have with Ethereum. So Ethereum has been going crazy. So let's anchor the VWAP from the last low, which would be at about, yep, this is the last low. Let's actually anchor it from here. All right, so if you anchor it from here, then this is the anchored VWAP support. But you can see that we went up. There's a large distance between the 20 moving average and the current price, which is not really good in terms of analyzing price action, because you always want to, what happens is price always comes back to these moving averages. They act like a magnet, as you can actually see. Let's let me actually show you. You can see we went up, came down to 20 moving average, went up, came down, went up, came down to 50 moving average, then went up, came down to 50 EM again, then went up 20, went up 50, and now we have actually extended ourselves from the 20 moving average. So it's a bit of a concern, because I would expect the price to actually come back to these levels. So that's the concern. That's a concern in terms of a bearish movement, because we might sort of dip and come to these levels. We'll have probably one support here, then we'll have these moving average supports as well, because it always goes back to the moving averages. So this and this might also act as a support, so just keep that in mind. But if you really want to invest in Ethereum and you believe that longer term it's going to go up, or even if you want to trade it with a bullish trade, what you can do is, if you open the 4-hour chart, we can see that we are actually on the 4-hour chart, we are actually staying with the 20 moving average. And what's great here is that we have been forming this beautiful resistance level here. So a good tip on trading price action is, when you're forming a resistance level and you start to consolidate right below this, right below the resistance level, and volume starts to dry up, then when you break out of that resistance level, those breakouts are really good. So if you want to sort of trade it for short term, let's say for a week or two, one concern obviously you have is we might dip and go to the moving averages on daily chart, but on the 4-hour chart, on a short term chart, we can see that this is a beautiful resistance level. If we break out of here with some volume, then that might be a really good trade for everyone to make, because at least in short term we might sort of shoot from here and go up a lot more before going back to the 20 moving averages. But please keep in mind that long term, or at least in general, we always want to buy when the price actually goes down and reaches those 20 or 50 moving averages. That's a much better setup than when the price is extended. But still, this seems like a really good setup. If you are a big fan of sort of wedges or triangles, you can see that we are forming a wedge here as well. So in terms of price action, the 4-hour chart is looking really good, but on daily chart we still have this extended price action. So slightly longer term, I'd expect a dip, but maybe short term, if we break out of that level, then we have a really good entry. Other than that, I would actually wait for the price to come down to this level. We can also quickly draw some Fib levels. So let's see. So we have, let's say this is the bottom that we want to consider, and this is the top. So we want to at least wait for the price to come back to the 78.6 level, or at least come back to the 61.8. So these would be two other decent entries. These might act as a support. We'll see if they do. But again, the strongest supports would be especially for Ethereum, and especially since it has done that in the past, the strongest supports are always the moving averages here. So just keep an eye on those. If we dip and we fall on the moving averages, that would be a great buy point. Let's move to DOGE, everyone's favorite these days. So on DOGE, we can see that again we are quite overextended. And when I'm saying that when we are overextended, we don't really want to buy, because in general and most of the times markets want to go back to their moving averages. And let's say when we went from about 0.07 to 0.45 actually, so this was 0.45, you can see that if you bought here, sure, longer term it still went up, but look at what happened in the next few days. We fell back on the 20 moving average. So you have to remember this, and there is a risk and reward that comes with going into these coins when they are extended. So even right now you can see that we're quite extended, and this is the 20 moving average. So there is a lot of distance between the price and the moving average. So if you're new, don't just go in blindly, or even if you do, at least expect the price to dip suddenly, and then sort of don't be afraid, because you have to know your reward and risk when you're going into a trade. The reward is sure maybe high here, because we have some hashtags going on Dogecoin to $1, so we might go to 1, but please remember that we are eventually going to dip here, so that should be a concern. And you can see that if we dip, this would be an excellent support area, because we have this horizontal support, and we also have this moving average support as well. So that's it about Doge. Another interesting thing that I caught here was, if you draw a Fibonacci level from here till here, this was this actually. Yeah, let's actually do this. You will see that I was talking about always falling back on the 78.6 or 61.8 Fib level. You can see that we actually went back to the 61.8 Fib level. We also stopped somewhere around 78.6 as well. So these Fib levels sometimes give you a support, but if you don't want to dive into what these Fib levels are and how to use them, just ignore them. Just look at the moving averages, and what you can do is you can also use our support and lines algorithm to draw some really good support and lines for you. So this would be one support. If you want to get in, and if you are really crazy about DOGE and you think this is going to just go up, you can also enter on this tip, because this is a support and resistance level. Since we are above it, this might act as a support, or as I was just talking about with you, this level is just beautiful. So if there is, if we fall here, let's say in the next 1 or 2 weeks, then that would be an excellent entry. So just keep that in mind. Then let's go to ADA. That this had a beautiful breakout. We actually alerted this on our Twitter and on our Instagram and on actually TikTok and then on our Discord as well. So this was the resistance level. We alerted it right here, and then we actually crossed it, and we bought some coins right when we crossed it, and you can see the volume. So when you're breaking out of a resistance level, you always want to see a high volume, and that is exactly what we got here. So the entry was somewhere around here because the volume was high. We were breaking out of a very long-term resistance level. Another great tip here is the more times you hit a level, the weaker it becomes. So we had already hit this level 3 times. The reason we were really confident in this trade was this was the first time we were hitting it. So we were hitting it again and again. This is going to eventually break. The probability was pretty high. So we made this trade I think 3 days ago, and this has been going pretty well. But here the trade would be, let's see if we have any support and resistance level. So this was the level. Then we now have this resistance level. This was something that you had to just sort of look at the chart and see there is the resistance level there, and then you need to draw it. Sometimes the support and resistance algorithm misses just a few lines, so always take a look at the chart yourself and see if you can find any decent level. This was one, and we have broken out of here. You can see that now that this has been acting as a resistance, the 1.65 level. What you want to do is you want the price to come back and fall on this about 1.5 level again. And why do you want to do that? That's because when you cross the resistance level, it becomes the support. So when the price goes down, this might act as a support level, and then we touch this and then go up from here. Another thing would be the price is again slightly extended right now. You can see that we extend, we go back to 20, we extend, we go back to 20 moving average, we extend, we go back to 20 moving average. So always know that we generally respect these moving averages, and we always want when we are close to these moving averages. So this was actually a really good entry because we were very close to the 20 moving average, and now we rode it from here to here. We still have a position here. So this looks really good. We just need a little bit of a more dip, and then we might actually shoot and keep going up. So this has a really good setup. Just need a small dip. Let's see, we have XRP. Let's see what it's doing. All right, so again you can see went up. Where did we move? We moved to the 50 moving average. So always keep this in mind, because you'll see this everywhere almost in stocks trading, in options trading, in crypto trading. So let's see if we have any decent levels. I always like to use this button before drawing my own levels, because sometimes there are some clear levels that I'll have to go and look for, and this algorithm just draws them for you. You can see that we have this is a nice support level here. So this is a nice support level, and then we have one final resistance level here. So all right, so what would be a trade here? So a trade here would be you actually wait let's see this. Let's say we have this trend line that we have been respecting. So what you do is you actually wait. Let me zoom this out until the price falls somewhere in this area. Let me draw this area for you. Yeah, before you go in, and the stop loss would somewhere be around here. So let's draw the stop loss level as well, and I'll explain why that would be a decent stop loss. So this would probably be a stop loss, probably this. The reason we have a stop loss at this level is because you can see that right here we have some kind of a support as well. Let's say we have these candles that touched this level and then went up, but this is a very weak support, and the true support is here, and we are entering above the support. So initially we'd just expect that the price will stay above the support level and will keep going up. We might want to sell some partial positions here because we can go down from here. or we might just want to wait for a breakout from here. But if the price breaks the support level, then this is going to act as a resistance level, so we might just keep going down, or even if we try to move up, this is going to act as a resistance. But you always still want to wait and give the price some margin. You don't just want to exit right away as soon as we break this level, because there are always some margins that you need to sort of keep in mind. So what you do is you just add a little bit of a margin, and then you have your stop loss there. Although this seems like a big margin, so maybe you want to have your stop loss right about here, 1.25, 1.3 maybe, and that should act as a really good stop loss. Always have stop losses, because crypto is very volatile, so it goes up a lot, it can also go down a lot. So always have stop losses, and then always try to find good entry. So this, I think we might actually have a really good entry soon. This circle would probably be a really good entry, and then we need to exit if we break this support line. But as you can see that we respected it here, then we also respected it here. So hopefully we are going to and we broke out of this line actually here. So this should probably act as a really good support line. Let's see if we have anything for our chart. So again, I think the anchored VWAP has been acting well. So this acted as a support. So even if it dip and we come at about 1.56 level, this again, I think this is the same level that that circle we drew on the chart. That was a really good. And so when you have these anchored VWAPs and the price dips on them and starts going back, then those are always good entries. So just keep an eye on these. And what I usually do is always look at the 4 or 8 or 12 hour chart and the daily chart, because I'm looking for swings instead of just day trading these. So that's why I'm looking at this chart. You can also look at 15-minute chart or anything else. Again, 15-minute chart is not really sort of giving us anything. So on the 4-hour chart, you can also see that we have this trend line support. We respected it here. So that is good too. And then this is a support line, as you can see. So anywhere here at this region would be a good entry, but please always have a stop loss. So that's XRP. Let's do Atom. This did a really nice breakout. So this was caught by one of our bots. We did not catch it manually. So we had this support level, right? Although there was this level as well, but this seemed like sort of a slightly better level. But again, this would be a level, and this would be another level. And let's just also draw this one. Let's see what this gives us. This gives us this level right above it. Okay. So what you can see is we broke out of, let's say this was the resistance level. We broke out of here, and then we were too overextended. So we came back. Now if we zoom in, we can see that we have fallen back right on the support level. When we broke this level, it became a support, and now we have fallen right back on it. So this might be a really good entry right now, because the expectation is we'll go up from here. The stop loss would, again, we need to just give it some margins. So the stop loss would be right here somewhere, because if we go back, then that means that the breakout has failed. We broke out, we had high volume here, so we always need high volume with breakouts, but in just the next candle we actually fell down and the breakout failed. So whenever these breakouts fail, you just need to exit and wait for some other opportunity. Let's look at the 4-hour chart here. All right, again, you can see that this was the level, and you can see that we have been respecting this level. So we went down here, but we came back up. We went down here, came back up, went down here, came back up, and we are staying above this level now. So as long as we are staying above this level, we are good. But again, keep in mind that the price is slightly overextended, so the reward to risk here is not very high, but it's still decent enough, and this represents a good buying opportunity right now. And other support that you might want to wait for is this. Now this is a better support, because one, this is like the 50 moving average support probably, and I think this is an anchored VWAP support as well. If we go down, don't set your stop loss here, because now this is also a support level. As you can see, this is now a support level, because previously, as you can see, this was a resistance level. Went up, came down, went up, came down, went up, came down. So we came down from this level quite a number of times. So this is a resistance level as well. So now that it has become a support level, set your stop loss below this, because we might come down to this level. You can see that the 20 EMA is also right at this level. So we have two support levels here and just one here. So this is not really a good support level. If we hold it, sure. If we don't, then wait for the price to come back here before you exit. So don't exit right here. Exit probably, all right, exit I think somewhere down, like somewhere below this level. That would be your exit. Right now seems like a good entry. If you want to wait to see if the price stays above this line, sure, you can do that as well. let's go through dot. This has been similar to Bitcoin. This has been respecting the anchored VWAP. We can see that we are right on a resistance level. This is a slightly better setup because you can see that we cross this resistance with some volume, but then we do have another resistance on top that we have not crossed yet. So if you enter here and you expect the price to go up, then you need to do some partial exits here, or at least wait for a breakout. If it doesn't happen, then sure. But there is nothing I think extraordinarily good or bad here. This is a decent setup because the moving averages are right below the current price, and we just broke out of this long-term resistance level. What would be an even better setup is if we go up and then actually break out of this level. That would be awesome. Then let's do LTC. LTC, similar to Ethereum, I think has broken out. So it broke out of this level. Okay, look, so we broke out with high volume, we went up, but look at where we came back down, right on the moving averages and anchored VWAP. So for all the newcomers and even for the experienced people, please keep this in mind that we are long term, or at least on average, we always tend to come back to moving averages. So you can see that we are slightly overextended here. So this might be one entry, but it's a very risky entry because we went up, we broke this resistance as well, but then we came back and now we are right at this support. So this wouldn't be that good of an entry. I would want the price to come back somewhere around this level before I enter again. Right now this is just too overextended. Let's do Link. Same with Link. I think we want the price to, we broke out of here, then we have another resistance here, so we want the price to come down somewhere around here because we have the moving average, we have a decent support line here now, so that would be a much better entry. Let's see if there is anything on the 4-hour chart. So I think similar to Ethereum, this is actually not coming back properly, so this is actually trying to stay up, which is always a good sign because it doesn't want to go back to its moving averages, it wants to go up, so that's always a good sign. So maybe you wait. You can see that this has been a really nice on the 4-hour chart support level. We came at this level about 3 times and we are just not going down. So maybe what you do is you wait for this level to break, and when it does, then you enter. But don't enter right here because we have a support and resistance level. We are stuck between a support and resistance level. So you always want to wait till things pan out a little bit more before you get in. So if you break out of this level, then that might be a really good setup. If you remember, we had something very similar for Ethereum. It's just not going back. We expect it to go back on the daily chart, but it's trying to go up, and sure, I think if it's going up and we have a setup, so we have a resistance here, we want to enter on the breakout when there is enough volume. If we have a resistance there, sure, we want to enter. We want to just earn as much money as possible, but we also want to take care of the risk. Then let's do 1 or 2 more. So we have TRX, very similar setup. Again, we have this resistance level, so now it's acting as a support, but then we have one more resistance level up. So you might want to enter here, or you might want to wait before we sort of go down just a little bit more. But even right here, this is an okay setup. There is nothing sort of special here. Let's do one last. Dash. Again, many of these setups are very similar. I did not realize that because I didn't look at all these charts before starting this video. But as you can see, we broke out. We are now right back on the support, but this is still too overextended, so I'm not comfortable. But let's look at the 4-hour chart. On the 4-hour chart, this looks okay because we have the support level now, and we just fell on it and we started going back. And we are also on the 4-hour chart, at least in short term, we are respecting this moving average. So as long as we are respecting this moving average on the 4-hour chart, you can enter, but remember that that is a shorter term trade. On the daily data here, that's where you enter some long-term trades. So that's it. I hope this was useful for all of the newcomers and even some more experienced people as well. I'm going to be doing these videos quite often, so please tell me if there is any feedback, if there are any things that I should discuss, or if there are any things that I should explain more, anything. This is the first video, so I'm really looking for as much feedback as I can get. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.